When I arrived at the Scarlet Devil Mansion, I could immediately tell something was wrong. First and foremost, I noticed the gatekeeper wasn't around. It wasn't entirely unusual to see Mei Ling, perhaps taking a nap nearby, but she was nowhere to be found. I flew over the gate and went inside. When I got inside, there was absolute chaos. It reminded me vaguely of the first time I met Flandre, complete with scattering fairy maids. I wasn't sure what exactly was happening, but I figured if I went the opposite direction from the fleeing fairies, I'd find out. When I arrived at the source of the commotion, I saw Sakya and Mei Ling hiding behind an overturned table. It looked like a war zone behind them. Both of them looked fairly beaten up. I could hear the sounds of various things being destroyed coming from further up ahead. This appears to be going very poorly. Going poorly, at this rate she'll level the mansion. For a moment, I thought they hadn't noticed me, but then Sakya grabbed my sleeve and pulled me down behind the table. I didn't think you'd gotten back into the incident-solving business, Sakya. I haven't. This is an internal affair, one caused by you, might I add. Huh? The young mistress is throwing a fit because a certain someone read her a scary book and she didn't get any sleep as a result. How is Dracula scary? I mean, the evil vampire is defeated and loses, the good guy wins, and everything is fine in the end. Hey, Marissa? Huh? I think you should think what you just said over again. The evil vampire is defeated and loses. Oh, somehow it hurts more being told by this gatekeeper. Oh, oops. Oops, that's all you have to say? The young mistress is sleep deprived and throwing a fit as a result. She's very upset and we can't figure out why, and she's destroying the household, and this is your fault. I guess it kind of is, isn't it? Well, go fix it! With that, Sakya shoved me out from behind the table and down the hall, presumably closer to where Flandre was. As I stumbled forward, I saw Flandre in a nearby parlor, or what was left of it. Every so often, I could see a small round object being extracted from a random inanimate object, which would promptly explode into dust. So this was Flandre's destruction ability in action. Flandre herself seemed to be in the middle of the ruined parlor, bawling her eyes out and muttering something. Asked what's wrong, that was the decision I went with last time. I walked up slowly, trying not to make any sudden movements. It wouldn't do to startle Flandre and have her pop me like a balloon. Hey Flandre, it's me, Marissa, what's the matter? Flandre completely ignored me, she just continued crying. Wah! Ouch, I never realized just how much of a set of lungs the tiny vampire had. Wah! Yeah, this continues for a while, trust me. Flandre, Wah! Yeah, this is kind of tiring me too. This is getting me nowhere. I guess she couldn't hear me over her own screaming. I went up and tapped her on the shoulder lightly. Flandre, it's okay. Go away. Whoa! Blasted. I felt her hand hit my torso before I could even react. I was suddenly sailing through the air, and then I hit the opposite wall with a bone-rattling crash. After recovering from the loud ringing in my ears, I noticed I managed to make a Marissa-shaped dent in the wall. One of my protective jawarms had broken too. Flandre, will you please calm down? Go away! I quickly peeled myself off the wall and scurried off to the side as a hail of Damaka flew from Flandre's hand in my general direction. Thankfully, it seemed she was too busy crying into her arms to properly aim, or else I might have been dangerous. It seemed I'd have to make her snap out of her crying fit before she talked to me. Well, at least she stopped destroying things at random. I guess I'd have to get her attention with extreme measures. I reached into my pockets and retrieved a small pot filled to the brim with magical mushroom extract. I lit up the mushrooms with magical fire and prepared to throw the pot. Damn it, Flandre, calm down and listen to me. Magical rune, deep ecological bomb. Thanks to her bawling, I don't think Flandre noticed the pot until it rolled up next to her. I quickly ducked behind the ruins of what was once a couch as the room filled with light. Bada bing bada boom, bitch! When the smoke cleared, I could see that my bomb had done its work. Flandre had laid sprawled on the ground a few feet away from where she'd been before. As I calculated, she appeared to be still conscious, although slightly dazed. Her eyes were as wide as if shocked. I heard footsteps as Sakya and Mei Ling walked up nearby and we approached the still recovering vampire. Wow, I was expecting to be cleaning you from the walls at this point. Spare the rod, spoil the child. I suppose you would be crazy enough to attempt to teach the young mistress that way. What? None of you got spanked as a child? None of us were prone to making things explode when put over someone's knees. About this point, Flandre's eyes focused themselves again, sans the eerie flames, and she sat up. Almost immediately, she began crying again. Wah, sniffle, sniffle. Are you calm now? Marissa. As I approached, Flandre latched herself onto my legs and began crying in earnest. Wah, it's not fair. Big sister's such a dummy. No fair. Now the vampire hunters are gonna come, and it's because Amelia is a big fat stupid head. You got blasted there, Amelia. Get called out. Vampire hunters? Yeah, like Van Helsing and Jonathan Harker. And they'll come with the steaks and the chalk and the garlic and the shit. I didn't even have to look at Saki to feel her glare burrowing into my head. It looked like Flandre might launch into another tantrum if I didn't head this off. I better think of something quick. It's only fiction. Flandre, calm down. It's only a book. It's fiction. There's no such thing as a vampire hunter. Huh? It's not real. There never was a... I was interrupted by Sakya yanking me by the arm out of the room. Please refrain from telling the young mistress blatant lies. We don't want her getting any wrong ideas, do we? Isn't that right? I just nodded. The maid's glare was quite intimidating. She shoved me back in the room. Well, I meant to say, don't be silly, Flandre. There aren't any vampire hunters in Kinsokyo, and even if there were, they wouldn't attack someone as cute as you. Even though I said that, I could tell Sakya was still glaring at me. Perhaps I could have phrased that better. Oh well. Anyway, vampires are a really new species of devils, Western to boot. Most people in Kinsokyo don't even think of vampires as different from any other type of yokai. Really? That is true. Until Lady Amelia taught me about vampires, I didn't know they were different from other yokais at all, and China's closer to the west than Kinsokyo is. A gross simplification, but essentially correct, Miss Flandre. I knelt next to Flandre and wiped some of the tears off of her face. See, you have nothing to worry about, Flandre. At this point, I noticed that my lap felt a bit heavier. It appeared that Flandre had simply fallen asleep the instant a convenient resting place for her head appeared. She must have been quite tired to have simply fallen asleep so quickly. I guess she must have stayed up awake the previous night as well. I just nodded, not wanting to wake up Flandre. Maybe we should put her in a bed. She'll probably sleep better there. I would agree. Mei-ling walked up over to me and picked up Flandre gently. I don't suppose any of you actually mind tucking in her in for me? Saki and I looked at each other. I could tell that even the stoic maid didn't particularly relish the idea of going into Flandre's room. I'll do it. I don't mind that room all that much. Really? It doesn't bother you? Not really. It's just kind of strange, that's all. Mei-ling shrugged and three of us headed for Flandre's room. We moved on towards the basement and towards the tucked away center region where Flandre's room was. Flandre didn't even stir even slightly during this entire trip. Either Mei-ling was handling her very gently or she was really out cold. Perhaps both. When we got to Flandre's door, Mei-ling passed Flandre over to me. Alright, your turn. As I picked up Flandre, I noticed that she was quite light. I knew she was small, but it seemed she was even lighter than I expected. The wings, however, were a bit of a bother. Sakya opened the door for me, and I took Flandre inside. When I stepped over the threshold into Flandre's room, it felt like stepping into another world. Once again, these strange spires and the distorted scenery loomed over me. It felt almost like there was a tangible barrier I'd broken, almost like the air was actually heavier here. I felt a wave of relief when Sakya stuck her head inside. We'll be outside, Marissa. Sakya then pulled her head back outside and comfort was gone. When the heavy door shut behind me, a chill went down my spine. I'll have to bear with it. I moved towards the bed in the center of the room and gently tucked Flandre under the blankets. I considered looking around for some pajamas or other sleeping clothes, but I quickly realized it would be very difficult to actually change Flandre's clothes without waking her. For that matter, there was the strange wings on her back. How did she manage to get dressed and undressed every day without tearing her clothing to shreds on these crystals? After a short while, I decided it was probably best not to dwell on that thought. I quickly headed back outside to where Sakya and Mei-ling were waiting. When I got outside, Sakya and Mei-ling were waiting for me. Mei-ling had apparently gone and gotten a chair from somewhere while I was inside Flandre's room and had planted herself next to the door, facing the wrong side of the chair. Sakya seemed to have set herself on the opposite wall, although to the casual observation she might have easily appeared to be sleeping while leaning there. What's with the overly cool waiting poses? This is how I always sit. I was merely shutting my eyes for a moment. I found that staring at the door for a prolonged period of time is unhealthy for one's mind. Besides, it would be your responsibility for making us wait. I looked back at the door. It was true. One did get a sense of forbidding from just staring at it. When I turned back to Sakya, her eyes were still closed, although it seemed more like she was considering something instead of just resting. Something wrong? Marissa, I don't suppose you'd like to stay for dinner. What? Where did that come from? I thought you'd be rebuilding. Ah, yes, your magic could also come in handy with fixing the mansion. If you just wanted me to help fix the mansion, Oh no, we would love to have you for dinner. Yeah, that way Saki doesn't have to deal with Flandre by herself. What? Would you please refrain from commentary, China? Okay, I'll shut up. It appears that for some reason Mei Ling really didn't like being called China. Anyways, why do you need to deal with Flandre? Saki aside, the young mistress seemed extremely irritated at Mistress Familia. She will most likely make a stir at dinner when she wakes up. I would greatly appreciate it if you helped me calm her down when this happens. Why would she be upset? Because she is now aware of the entire story behind Mistress Familia's claims of being of Tepe's blood. The young mistress will likely still be incensed when she awakens, just slightly more calm and less sleep deprived. I suppose I really had no choice. This was kind of my fault.